What's going on, guys? Today on Master Grade Monday, we are continuing double O-ctober with, you guessed it, the actual double O riser. This thing is awesome. And just to go ahead and talk about it, this was the very first gunpla I ever built about 3 years ago. Double O was my favorite series, probably still is. And being that the double O itself is so ridiculously awesome, that was the first thing I had to do. Now, we already covered over Exia, which was the second gunpla I ever built. So you can see I was sort of on a streak right off the bat. But yeah, this box art is awesome. You get a great shot of the double O riser just coming across here. You get all the great particle effects. You got either a ship or it's kind of hard to tell what it is, just kind of being blown up, and I'm assuming you just sliced it in half, judging by what's going on right here. Yeah, I can't tell if it's a ship. It just, you can't really tell anything here, but you do see there's what looks to be in a head down here, probably being destroyed. No, he was also cut in half. Okay, it's covered by the Bandai logo, but he's covered in half right there. Alright, but yeah, this thing is sweet. Is a really big box, as you can tell. Maximizing my space here. Up here, you get the Master Grade Gundam 00. You get the Gundam 00 little emblem there. Of course, Bandai logo in the bottom corner because we buy Bandai products. You get the 00 riser here. Celestial Being Mobile Suit GN 00000 GNR 010. It's got lots of stuff. And this was Bandai made in 2011. That's awesome. So it's actually newer than that Exia kit was. So that's pretty cool. Because there was a more traditional 00 release. And there's also a non-grade 00 riser release. So this is just cool in and of itself. So let's go ahead and take a look at the rest of the box. Sorry, gotta watch my depth perception here. Alright, so you get a great shot here. Of course, it says inner frame. This is a master grade, so you do get almost an entire inner frame for this guy all the way through from top to bottom. You get the body swivel. Has that really nice kind of center section right there where it can actually get a lot of torso rotation. It's pretty neat. The shoulder movement, a lot like the Exia did, where the shoulders can move and take some of the chest bits with it. That's pretty cool. Get some nice rotation in the arm there. Clear parts. That's pretty cool. Oop. Helps if I have it on camera, huh? And then, of course, you get a great shot of the 00 riser right there. Side binders that do things. That's always cool. Drive arm. Oh, okay. I couldn't see what it was actually talking about. And then, of course, you get some markings and stuff all over that. You get another rear shot of it there. You get a read-up right there of the whole suit and all that. Come over here. You get the GN drive. Of course, it'll light up and it can be removed. And then you get the shot here of the LED light-up display. Now, sadly, I believe mine is probably dead at this point, so the actual lights are not going to work that well. Come around here, and of course, you get a repeat of the top box art, which is just awesome. Gotta love that. Come around to this side, and you get the action shots there. He's shooting off his little GN sword there, the docking of the, O riser, and you get a shot right here with the GN sword 3, kind of on the bottom of that. Now, I will admit, mine is a little bit different, and we'll go over why, because it has a couple custom touches to it. But yeah, we'll continue that more in the actual review. First, you get a great flying shot of it there, great little shot of it slicing. It's probably talking about the effect parts there. Oh, and here, right, shows rotation. Rotation is good, guys. We like rotation around here. GN condenser types. Oh yeah, those are here somewhere. I forgot that. And of course, it comes with all of the weapons down here. We'll sort of take a look at that. Like I said, things are a little bit different on mine now. You got some option parts here. It comes with little bitty Setsuna figures. As usual, I probably did nothing with those, or Setsuna is somewhere in the cockpit. And of course, you get the obligatory shot of everything in the box, including the runners and all that. And, sorry, knocking stuff over. It's a big box. You get your obligatory warnings, your little plastics here. Something about the LEDs, obviously, probably a warning about the batteries, because because it does tell you about the batteries. This thing is 6,500 yen, or about $65. And yeah, it was. It was definitely an expensive kit. And being that it was the first one I ever bought, yeah, crazy. But you can hear stuff falling around in there. Great, awesome box art, great big box, and it's upside down. Now, I don't think it actually said who the artist is, but I'm going to go ahead and assume that it's Morishita Naochika. So, it probably says it right there in Japanese, and I can't see it. Let me do a quick look over. Nope, don't see it anymore. Okay, well, let's go ahead and take a look at this guy. Alright guys, here we have 00 out of its box. And as you can tell, yeah, it's different, isn't it? Alright guys, I'll be honest with you. This is not exactly the kit we're going to look at. But what this is, in fact, is the original 00 that I built. The very first kit I ever built. This whole upper torso, all of this is the original one that I built. These legs and arms, however, are actually off the aisle strike. So this guy actually went into a kit bash that we'll take a look at on another day. So his arms, legs, and all the other bits all went on to be part of another kit. But I wanted to go ahead and just show off what was just kind of left over. Of course, you have your little, yeah, dongle. It's dongle. But actually, this is not too bad of a look. It seems funny, but it actually still sort of works. Because, I mean, the 00's legs and arms are pretty much white as it is. So, it's not a bad match. It doesn't fit right in here, though. So, I might leave this as a fun little kit bash down the line. Kind of just not waste the parts. Yeah. The only thing I can think of is he does still probably have the LED inside of his chest right in here. And, in fact, actually, he probably still has the Setsuna figure. Yeah, he does. Right. I'm not going to be able to get light in there, I don't think. Yeah, you can barely see it, but the original Setsuna figure is way up inside the cockpit there. Alright, so enough joking. I'm going to go ahead and set this guy way over here to the side, and we will see the actual big guy for himself. There we go. Alright, now we have the actual 00 riser. And one thing you guys will notice, right off the bat, he is definitely different than the standard 00 riser. Mostly because of these things down here. And you'll notice that he no longer has the large GN Sword 3 either. Because that's part of another custom that we will be looking at next time. I'll go ahead and do the quick walk around here. So you guys get an idea of what's going on. Yeah. You notice this is a big difference too. Oh yeah, there we go. Great, good look at that. Alright, now if you give me just a second, I'm going to strip this guy down to the basic 00. Alright guys, we've got this guy stripped down now to his bare form, more or less. And well, he's definitely less bulky this way. But it's a lot easier to handle and show off some of the details. Now, we'll be honest, this is, of course, kind of a kit bash between the original 00 riser and the 007 swords. That's why he's got the extra bits down here on the knees and the slightly different GN Sword ones on the legs. But this guy is just awesome. I've always loved the 00, and this is like the ultimate version of the 00. So you get all the great clear parts, like down here on the legs, on the arms, on the side of the head. Got some great stuff going on there. And go ahead and raise this guy up just a little bit. There we go. Alright. And I love this. This is a cool effect. They actually have the nice, perfectly clear crystal there, and you put a little clear sticker on it too. Now, unlike the Exia, this one's head will actually light up. There's an LED inside the chest that aims upwards through the head. You kind of have to access it back through the backpack here. If I can pull this off safely. There we go. So you got the nice little back here, which I think, yep, you just rotate a little bit. Oh, yep, see, no LED. So the LED would normally slide right in through there. And it looks like I actually did a little bit of painting on this guy. It's been a little while even since I put this one together. So forgive me, I don't recall everything. And I just messed that up. Hold on, what did I just do? Oh, went the wrong way with it. Okay. Okay, so it locks in place just like that. Okay, so now we've got just the 00 Gundam, no twin drives. Alright, now this guy has great articulation for something of its size. Now, like I said, this is about the golden age of master grades. So we get some nice head rotation, but his the collar gets in the way right here on these cheek armors. So he can't quite go all the way around. He does get some nice head banging with the devil horn, so that kind of works. That's just awesome. I do like the fact that MGs don't really come with safety nubs on the V fins. That's pretty cool. You can't look up, so you can only look forward and down. I guess just due to the way the head is hinged, you don't get the turkey neck. That's okay. We can forgive that, right? Alright, so we come up here, kind of pull the shoulder very carefully. It's really stiff, guys. Now, he doesn't get any upward movement out of the shoulder, but what he can do is rock the whole body like that. So you can kind of do that number. So that's about as far up as the arm will actually reach, sadly. Ideally, you can get a little bit of flap out of these little bitty shoulder armors. I like that. I think you can sort of see it right in there. I painted just a tiny spot of green. Now, actually, all of this surface, while it would normally be blue, I did actually go over it with paint. So you notice it's not super shiny, but it's not too bad. It's actually a blue Gundam marker. And actually, you can see through here and like right in there, touch it up with a little bit of that purple gray. Sorry, I'm kind of reliving this. Now, this one, of course, I did last year, probably around this time, realistically. So you're not going to see all the mistakes that I made in the 1.0, so to speak. Wow, there's some like fluff here. Alright, let's come into the arms. You get the nice bicep rotation as usual. You get some fantastic double jointed elbow. Problem is that with this big chunky bit of forearm armor here, that's as far as you can go. So you got elbow here, and the other end is up here. But I think it was even just like the Exia, you get some extra wrist flex, just like that. I love when they have that effect in there. That is just awesome. Just gives you that much more reflexibility, especially when you have this limited elbow here. I love these details, these great clear green, like little GN parts. And of course, actually, if you look real close, yeah, you can see the cool reflective stickers inside. It actually does say, that does actually have the Gundam's designation in there. That is actually pretty cool. Alright, so we already covered a little bit of what the chest does. So you saw the tilt. So you definitely get some tilt. You get a lot of ab crunch. Look at that. Raw. Nice little joint right through the middle there. Now, one thing I've noticed on this guy, he keeps on to split around that center ball joint. And that's not happy. So we'll be careful when we're doing our rotation. You can go all the way around the full 360 backbreaker, as Dan says. I just call it the full turnaround. Now, instead of having the normal, like, flappy side skirts, this guy just has one big center, almost like a V-fin for a crotch. But it is actually on a ball joint right through there. You can turn it. Because I think for the most part it tends to just stay like that. You do get the flappy side skirts. They do rotate a little bit, and they actually do have the peg for the sword holsters. Now, I actually just tend to pull the swords with the holsters out, but they can detach. It's just kind of a pain in the butt. And then these little things can actually unclip and then cover that. And then while we're here, we'll just talk about the rear butt flap. It is on a nice little hinge right there, so you can get some leg movement. And with these beam sabers, I like this effect because you can just whoop, pull them off that way. Otherwise, they're just tucked away, almost like a little tail. I kind of like that. All right, let's come down to these huge, chunky legs. That's one problem right there. Those beam sabers fall off really good. Okay, so we can come up about that far, and we can go back about that far at this point. But you can see right through here, you do have the ability to drop the hips down, like so. Now you get some really righteous leg movement. Look at that. Yeah. Hold on. I think that needs to be, yep, okay, push it up just a little bit. And then you can go way farther back like that. That's awesome. I never use it with the hip drop down because it looks funky from the front like that. And each one does actually move individually. That's pretty cool. So you can get kind of a difference in leg height just like that. Don't know why, but you can do it. Alright, let's go into this big, all chunky knee section. There it goes. Whew, that was kind of scary. I was in there. This thing is all kinds of articulate and lots of detail when you do. You got this weird upper knee chunk of armor that slides out there. You've got this big whole chunk right there that has a sword pod. And then all of this just moves with it, including this little piece right back here that flips up and out of the way as you bend the leg. Of course, the only thing that's really limiting it is the armor itself. No, you know, huge double. This is one of those things I almost call a triple jointed knee. It's just so good. I mean, even with a partial knee bend, look at that. That's better than a lot of other, you know, things. That's a nice little marching stand. It looks like I did a little bit of, I don't know if that's supposed to be silver or gray. I don't know what's going on in there. You know, like I said, did this thing like a year ago. Alright, and we come down to the feet, which are pretty nice. You have a nice little hinge right up in there. And you get actually a very, very IBO Gundam-like foot swivel like this. I like that. Nice, good ankle tilt. But then you also get some foot point. You get some nice tilty points on the foot. I like that. It does kind of get a little wonky sometimes when you're trying to make it stand up straight, especially with the backpack, but if you fight with it, it's definitely better than what Exia does. That is definitely for sure. Let's see. There it goes. Okay. I was thinking that hip was not going to rotate back into place. All right, go and put that beam saber back down. Put this beam saber back in, and they just peg in by where the blades would normally go in. So that is pretty awesome. Now, of course, the 00 by itself is pretty awesome. Of course, just the way it popped up in the show. I'm going to go ahead and show off the GN Drive backpack shoulder armor, whatever you want to call it. I do like this little thing. It's pretty cool. You actually get some nice little thrusters right through there. Actually, I guess I just did some like silver and green paint up in there. That actually looks pretty neat. I don't know if you can see that on camera. I can see it in my own eyes. I can see that. And this thing is actually articulated to a degree, so you can actually swivel each arm up just a little bit. Each one of the pods can go not full 360, but you know, maybe about 270 probably. And you do get another tiny bit of articulation. If you got this little switch here, you can rock that up, and then that locks it in place. So whenever you've got the wing pods on, it can actually hold itself up. That's pretty awesome. Now, as for the GN drives themselves, they just slide in and out, just kind of like they would on the actual anime. I don't think like Exia. No, okay. So that's just how you take them apart. You do get some nice clear green plastic right up in there. And actually, if you're building this is the first thing they have you build. It's the GN drives. Now, there are LEDs inside these things. Now, like I said before, odds are they're dead. But the whole backing plate here just rotates just a little bit. That is actually the on and off switch. Oh, no, not dead, just non-existent. So they're probably still in my old GN drives. So these are from the 7 swords. Like I said, technically speaking, I have 2 different 00 Gundams here. Now, it does attach to the back by these 2 pegs and this slot. So you just have that big slot right there, which was the way to get to the back. And you just peg it on like so, and then you have a happy 00. Now it looks a little funky with those like propped up. That's why I went without the O-riser on there. I like just tucking it down like so. That's kind of how it was in the show. In fact, you can replicate the scene when it first activated and it rotates the GN drives forward like so to release a GN field, which was never used again. The very first battle it gets used in, it uses that, but never uses it again. Now what we're going to do is go ahead and lock those in place and set him to the back, because now we're going to talk accessories for the most part. No, maybe weapons. That's what we'll go with. Weapons. Doesn't necessarily have accessories. So I got a handful here. Alright, so you get these awesome guys. Now, he sort of had weapons like this on the normal 00 before he got the 7 swords. But they were nowhere near as cool. Here, I'll show them off right here. So they had these things. You can see very similar design. But these are meant more to be like a shield with a bit of a blade on it. And in fact, this is a custom one that I made, because on the back side here, that's actually another blade glued onto that. So you can see a nice, thick blade there. And I don't remember if I left the ability. Nope, okay. Totally glued together. So that's what this was meant to replicate for the most part. I forgot what they're called. Hold on, give me just a second. I have the box. I have the 7 swords box, like right here. Let me see if it tells me what those are. Oh, Katars. Okay, so GN Katars. I kept wanting to call them Tonfas, but I know they're not Tonfas. So GN Katars. So they're a nice little blade. I love the clear green plastic, which is like the big gimmick of all of these things. And you can, in fact, split that off, and he can hold them in each hand, and basically a big stabby motion. I don't remember. I don't have all the parts out for the 7 sword version, but I know there's a thing that actually allows you to connect them and actually like have them as a weapon, a single big weapon. That's pretty cool. And you can, of course, just plug these guys onto the knees. They just have a hole right there. Goes right there. And I really dig this look. I never display it with it using the knee or using the Katars, but they just look awesome just standing there. Now this guy's going to want to keep falling over. I can tell you that right now. Stay. Alright, so now move on to the GN sword. I think 2? Yeah, 2, because the Exia has the GN sword 1. That's right. So these things are really cool. Now these are from the 7 swords version, so that's why you get this really, really long version. And in fact, it does come with an extra handle. That's actually pretty cool. So you're not just holding it by this handle, you can actually hold it by that handle. Now I think you can technically hold it this way if you really wanted to. Let's look. This is one of those things I didn't necessarily play with. Now there is a thing about this hand. I don't know what, there we go. Okay, so the fingers are as far back as they want to go. Now, I've had issues with these 00 hands before, like specifically the 00, because it comes with different thumbs, different fingers for different objects. This guy might not want to play along, if I'm totally honest. Okay, just kick the thumb out of the way, and then try to get that to peg on. Don't know what that was. Okay, so that's not going to work. Alright, hold on. Let me go ahead and fix this guy real quick. Either way, you get this big awesome sword, and it does transform into its other mode. It has the gun mode as it stands. Let's see here, where does it go? Down like that. And there you have it in GN sword gun mode. I love this thing. I love the fact that it's so huge. In the cartoon, or anime rather, you don't get to see these because that's part of the side story. But the scale is this big in the actual anime. But when you get the actual model in hand, they're not this big. This one is way bigger. The other ones we'll see in another kit are much slimmer and streamlined, kind of about to this length. This thing is much, much larger than the ones you get otherwise. Let me go ahead and peg that one in right there. That one is also very good for keeping it vertical. Alright, and here you get the second one. And this one is a little bit different, being that it's itty bitty, as you can tell. It is shrunken. And that is because this one comes apart, and you can attach a little bit of wire between that and actually almost like a little harpoon flying through. Once again, not something illustrated in the anime, but in the side story, definitely. Now, this one was already in gun mode, so I'm going to go ahead and put it into, whoops, wrong way, sword mode, like so. Because I think I had him holding this at one point. One of the times that I had him on display over the years, I had it with it in gun mode. So that's why I was like that. So I really do. I always love these clear green parts. Something the HGs sort of skip out on. They just give you a clear part and you kind of have to color it yourself somehow. You know, I'm using clear Gundam marker. If you can find the proper clear Tamiya green, that actually makes up for it. And then this beam saber is just sort of hanging out here. And it does in fact come with beam sabers. They just weren't in the box. And because I have so many boxes that this particular kit sort of is split up into at this point, I don't know where the actual beam sabers are. Sorry. But you know what beam sabers look like. So the actual beam saber blades are elsewhere. Let me try to straighten this guy out real quick.